arduous. I'm good at talking, but now we have machines doing it. So we talk about the future and AI. People say, what do you think about AI? I think AI is going to change how we all think and act. I'm not worried about what the machines are going to do. I'm worried about what you're going to do. You as a person. I'm worried about what the people are going to do when the AI becomes good enough to truly turn the pattern Bs into the pattern As. How do we make all the people who understand the truth believe Andrew's a human trafficker? How do we make people believe the news again? What disaster do we need to come up with? What words do we need to type in which order? In which order do we have to show them the different articles for it to be a logical continuation in their brain for them to come to the conclusion we want them to come to? I'm not worried about what AI is going to do on its own. I'm worried about what it's going to do to all of us. Because that's how they're making money now, is by surveying us and controlling us. And yeah, I'm one man with a mouth, and I'm pretty good. But to compete against machines into the future, I'm only going to lose. So when you talk about money matrix, it just reminded me about how surveillance capitalism, I guess that's the only capitalism we have now, is surveillance capitalism. I guess I would like to, and I'm doing this on the fly, so I don't know, but what is communism? Communism is spying on absolutely everything somebody does to make sure they adhere to the correct creeds so they can make a living. Surveillance capitalism is spying on absolutely everything somebody does so you can make as much money as possible from them, but if they don't do the right things, you'll delete their ability to exist as a human. I'm sure somebody with a little bit more time than I could draw up the comparisons between surveillance capitalism and communism. Are we kind of reaching the same place? You're spied on, absolutely.
We don't even have capitalism anymore in the true definition of the word. Where do we? Where do we have free, fair markets and free competitive forces?
That's right. And if a government's primary objective every single day is to get more and more control, which is all it is, it all ends in communism anyway. Is surveillance capitalism just another path towards the same thing? Every day, the government passes new laws. Every week, every month, whatever. Have you ever seen the government take a law away? So over time, they just get more and more and more and more control. They don't take laws away, they just add new ones on top. Where does that end? If you have 100 marbles and I take one away every day, it ends at 0. It doesn't matter if it takes a while, but that's where we end up, right? So the governments are all going to try and end up with us in some form of slavery. You can call it communism, you can call it something else. But this money matrix, you talk about surveillance capitalism, I don't think that's far off communism anyway. I don't think anybody, you're right, we have no free and fair markets, we have no freedom of speech. We just talked about the freedom of society and how garbage that is. Democracy is a scam, that's a lie, because they influence and control the media, if the voting machines work. So what do we have besides God? Only God can save us now, my friend. Better start praying, because we ain't got anything else. There's nothing else to believe in. What else are you gonna believe in? It's scary. Also interesting you say about the money matrix. The average person stands so little chance of being financially free. It's ridiculous how screwed most people are. They don't even know how screwed they are. You know, let me tell you something that's really hilarious. This really made me laugh out loud. I don't have Facebook because I'm banned, but I saw a Facebook post. My mom shared it with me, someone, and it was a 17-year-old who was happy that they got accepted into college. That's the biggest joke I've ever heard of. So wait, you are happy you've been accepted to give them money. Imagine I said I was accepted to buy a Big Mac. I'm trying to give them money. If you accept me, oh thanks. So you can go to school and learn nothing. Learn nothing. You know what I love to do with people who go to uni? I love it, because I don't have a degree, right? And I'm obviously monumentally more successful than all these nerds. And every once in a while I meet somebody whose whole identity is invested in their learning. And they talk to me about how important it is. Well, if you want to be a doctor or I don't want to have to point out the obvious here. If you want to be a doctor, you go to school. I get it. Okay, cool. But whenever someone's in uni, I'm like, why do you go to uni? They go, oh, because I want to learn things. So did you go to uni today? Yeah. What did you learn today? What do you mean? No, today. What did you learn today? They can never answer the question. It's great. Ask them. Start asking people, what did you learn today? And watch them just fumble. And then they realize, well, if I didn't learn anything on one day, I probably didn't learn anything on the week, which means I probably didn't learn anything the whole time. Whole thing's been a scam, all waste of time. Then you get in massive monumental debt. That's the money matrix. You come out of school, you're in debt. It's over. It's over for you. You're never gonna make it. You've lost the game on level 1. You lost. It's kind of interesting that I had a thought experiment with somebody and I said, you could only get loans for school because if you could get loans for anything you wanted, nobody would choose school. Because they can't exist in a free and fair market. They have to keep a monopoly over the ability to enslave children with debt. Otherwise, no one will choose them because there's no value in it, and everyone knows there's no value. But how matrix-minded do you have to be to actually still be happy about the idea you got accepted to a college? I nearly laughed. So these people have no idea how all this stuff works. They don't have a clue. Rich get richer. I'm sure you understand. Poor get poorer. Inflation, inflation, inflation. That sounds like higher house prices to me. Good thing I own
the rich.
Good thing I own a bunch.
Yeah.
Sounds like higher share prices. Good thing I own a bunch of that. Oh, you can't buy groceries. I'm sure that's very hard. We don't have to worry about those things. We own all the assets. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and there's no way to stop it. And I also feel like, because I think we need God, and we talked about how messed up society is. I also feel like we're living in the last years where there's a hole in the matrix, where there's any degree of social mobility. I think we're gonna end up back at feudalism. There's gonna be kings. See at the top, my friend. How many Ferraris?
Enough.
Diamond watch, arguing about our diamond watches. There'll be us, and there'll be everyone else. Right now, there's still a degree of social mobility where if you're intelligent and you're perspicacious and you're indefatigable and you work hard and you manage to find a gap and you really dedicate yourself and you try your best, you can make enough money to get out. In 20 years, the rich are gonna be rich and the poor are gonna be poor, and it's done. It is done. Because the average price of a house is gonna just continue to skyrocket. The wages are not gonna follow it. You're never gonna own any assets. The assets are gonna be owned by all the rich people. You're gonna be paying us rent. It's over. And there's another thing I find interesting because people come to me often. The question I get asked most is, Andrew, I lack motivation. You have 10 years left to save your bloodline from eternal slavery, and you lack motivation? You are born to lose, sir. You are a loser. All of your ancestors who fought saber-toothed tigers should have just laid down and died because they fought their best for you to be born so you could jack off the Pornhub during the last few years where you stand a chance to save your last name from eternal serfdom. You are a dickhead and you deserve to be poor. The last thing you should lack in the mess of the world today is motivation, because you are running out of time. And I'm telling you, as a rich man who made it out, I can see the gap is closing. I can see it. So you should certainly see it. I'm above in the clouds, looking down on the hole closing in. You're down below, looking up, watching it close, and you lack motivation to build a ladder. Oh, well, maybe tomorrow. Doom-de-doom. Maybe government will save me. Maybe if I vote for the liberals, they'll give me money. Slave minds, clowns, fools. The last thing you should lack in the world today is motivation, because truly people are running out of time. And I find that extremely interesting, that not only when you go to college do you end up in a bunch of debt, not only do you end up owing a bunch of money, even worse, you waste time. You waste years for a dream. And the Matrix is very good at this. It dangles a carrot all the time. Get good GCSEs. Get good in college. Get a good degree. Then you'll be rich. Pay off your mortgage, you'll be rich. Just pay off your student loan. Don't worry, just keep working. The carrot's coming. You'll get it one day. When I was 16, when I saw the Ferrari, I knew this was a lie. It's like, there's no way that man. Next time you see a rich guy, go up to him and say, how'd you get rich? I've never heard anyone say university. Ever! I've never heard anyone say it's a lie. It's a scam. When I was 16, I saw the guy in the Ferrari. I was like, I'm going to college and he isn't. And he ain't going to work. He knows something I don't know. I knew at 16 everything they tell me was a lie. But there's still people who think they have 5 years to waste in college. 5 years. I'm 37. Let's conservatively estimate I make, for myself, $250,000 a day, let's say. 5 years ago, I was probably making 20 grand a day. That's the difference 5 years can make. 5 years. And they're gonna sit there and do what? Read a book from 22 years ago? Go party. Oh, fraternity. Bro, what's really scary is this. I'm 37. I grew up on a council estate. I was broke for most of my life. I made all my money myself. And even I have disdain for the poor. Because I look at them and go, you didn't try at all. I did it. With all of the pain I went through and all the problems I had, while also fighting and becoming a kickboxing world champion, I still managed to do it. You started at a higher bracket than me. You started from a middle income home. Your dad was, you had food. I didn't have food and I was a world champion. How did you fail so massively? And I look at them and just think of them as, you're an idiot. And if I feel that, imagine how the elites look at us. Imagine you're born into a lineage, a bloodline that have been in charge of the banks forever. Imagine how you view poor people. You think you give a shit whether they live or die? I'm talking about someone who's only been rich for 10 years. And when someone comes and complains to me about being broke, I'm like, oh, you're a dummy, you didn't even try. So imagine you were born filthy rich and your family's always been rich. And you're told about how your family's always controlled everything because you're smarter than everybody else. Imagine how much disdain the elites truly have for the common man. And I'm talking as a common man who made a little bit of money. Then you start to understand how this world's really working. Because they don't give a shit about the common man. If you say to the elites, if you pour third worlders into this nation, you will make 3% more per year. However, the common man will have to deal with crime, rape, murder, drugs, human trafficking. He'll sit there and go, I don't care about the common man. 3%, okay. Doesn't care. Why would he care? Then you have a community where the only people who can protect it left are the men. The men who care about their daughters, care about their wives. But those men have to be masculine men, brave men. They're under assault. We discussed that for the last 2 hours. So now they're afraid. All the buildings look the same anyway. Why don't we just move? Let's just move. Let's just scurry away. Then you start to lose the major cities of your nation. This hypothetical nation. The major cities start to fall. Everyone starts saying stupid things like, it's a nice country if you stay away from the cities. You know what's a nice country if you stay away from all the cities? Afghanistan. I can go hide in the forest in Afghanistan with a little tent and just sit there by myself. I'd probably be fine. I probably wouldn't get drone striked. I'm on Kabul. And they don't seem to understand this. And then they hide and they run away. And eventually they're crushed. And it's over. And the whole nation falls. And the great thing about globalists being globalists is that they have the whole globe. And then all the globalists get on a private jet with their families, fly to another place that they haven't destroyed, and they find a way to continue to profit off the burning trash heap that they just abandoned. They don't care. 3% more profit, doesn't matter. Common man, doesn't matter. And I'm telling you that they think like this because I catch myself